absolutely lovely man, by far the most sensitive lover I have ever had. Please put your hands together for Anuvab Pal!
Hello, good evening, hi. I'm sorry I look like this. It's just like an ICICI relationship manager. Some of you may know this. I am Bengali. Happens everywhere. You just mention it.
Yeah, for the Bengali.
This is what I like about Bengalis. Not only when they come, they'll also point themselves out. Laugh at me. I've paid money, now laugh at me. Or when you throw out names of Bengalis in a crowd, you say Subhash Bose, someone will say Saurav Ganguly.
I think people who like to listen to middle-aged, overweight men talk about stories of failure and loss and lack of any sort of success or coolness will drift towards my comedy.
Like there was a movie called Karma, and there was a bad guy, Anupam Kher played a villain called Dr. Dan. And he was awesome, he was a great villain. It was very early on, he said, my name is Dr. Dan, 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 Dan. And you're like, this is a villain I'm going to take seriously. Because he has his own echo.
I like people, but in that I'm not a great crowd guy. You know, there are many brilliant comedians who are very good with crowds. I just tell stories. And so if the crowds are not interested in the stories, there's nothing I can do except to say, please listen to my story. Because I'm not very good at like, how are you, sir? How was yesterday? Are you enjoying your job at Kotak? Like, I can't do all that. Like, because, you know, they've come, I figure they've come to listen to you tell some stories that they can't tell. So I try not to get into the stuff of like, are you rich? Have you ever been rich? Like, I try not to do that. But that's a handicap. But every comedian is different. So I work with that. Every comedian, slowly as the scene grows, everyone's going to have their own little worlds, right? I think there are many fantastic comedy groups in India, right? Like there's East India Comedy that Saurav does. There's the AIB boys who I absolutely love. There's Veer who's brilliant and a big movie star now. And I think everyone has their own following and because of the stories they tell. You know, I think AIB captures where India is at a particular time through their videos and it speaks. And I am very interested in us and different cultures, and I'm very interested in sort of the geekiness of us, like, you know, the academia of us. So I think the people that like my stuff are also geeky, probably well-read, a little bit sort of urbane, Anglophilic sorts of, but I'm making presumptions, like, you know, there could be like a homeless beggar from Madhya Pradesh who likes my stuff. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel people who like that kind of story would now drift to those kinds of storytellers.
You know, there are lots of things that, you know, some Americans came to India, there's friends of mine from college, and, you know, I had to show them around India, and they wanted to see the Taj Mahal. You are urban Indians, right? Who goes to Taj Mahal? Who does that? But obviously, we say we've been, right? And everyone's like, you've been to Taj? Yeah. Who built it? Someone damn old and Muslim. Like who? Azharuddin. But you should go. Should go because fantastic. You go because the tour guides, no Indian people go, so they make up whatever they want. I went, I was hiding, the only white people, Spanish people, whatever. They're like, come, this is the Taj Mahal. It was built by a very famous man, Shah Jahan. He moved here, he was supported by some great musicians like Tan Sen, Aparna Sen, Rahul Bose.
I love any sort of conflict that has to do with not achieving things. You know, I think it comes from my Bengaliness, you know. Like with me, it's not even like the glass is half empty, the glass isn't even there. The room is missing. So forget the glass. So I tell stories that are like that are about those uncomfortable situations, because I find if you can make a situation more and more uncomfortable and even more, I don't even have a word for it. Like, look how bad I am. I don't even have, like, if you could twist a situation to a point where there's no joy left, you know, because I find there's no comedy in coolness. Like, I'm so cool, I have girlfriends, I have a fancy car, I have money. I don't find, there's nothing there to work with, right? But, you know, if you come out and say, you know, I'm 35, I'm overweight, I've been married 11 times, I can't pay my EMI, I think that's something to work with, you know, there's something there. So I find weakness, human frailty very funny. So people who like that come to my shows, I guess.
I got off an Air India flight just now. We took off from Delhi. Pilot said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to fly to our destination. Everyone started clapping. That's all it takes now. Wasn't to be. Halfway through, pilot said, ladies and gentlemen, we have to turn around. We're in the wrong plane.
You have to evolve and think of stories and tell them. When I did America, now I talk about being Bengali and how Bengalis are different from Punjabis and how Bengali weddings are like funerals and Punjabi weddings are like, you know, just like guns going off and stuff. I can't say that. What relevance does that have in America? Nothing, right? So I have to invent different stuff for America. So I talk about my college years in America and how there's no context of India, right? So when they met an Indian person, they were very nice people, so they wanted to do something, but they didn't. So they were like they didn't know, like, should I do a namaste? Should I grab my leg? Like, they didn't know what to do. So I find that very funny. That one guy asked me, do you have birthdays over there? I said, no, just mess with them. So, you know, and those become stories you later use in stand-up.
Like some cultures, you can say anything about your country because they don't know anything. You know, I love America. I was in America recently. It's fantastic because you go to small towns, whatever, outside the big cities, right? And you can't go to New York, it's filled with Indians or whatever. You go anywhere else, and the thing is, they're nice people, right? You like the people you see in the movies, they're nice people. But they don't know, they really don't know, right? So they meet somebody, where are you from, man? I'm from India. And they want to be nice, so they want to do some gesture. They're not sure what to do. And there's one gentleman, he was very sweet. I was in Ohio doing a show, and he said, you guys have birthdays over there, right? So either some of you are laughing, some of you are offended. Some of you are offended, they're thinking, you know, how can he say this about us? I went with the much more wicked option, which was, because I wanted to see what next. So the potential is endless. Because he said, see, in America, we have this ritual. We get a birthday cake. We put candles in it. And we have a song. I said, how does it go? It's happy birthday. He called his wife. They sung it together for me. I started writing it down. It was very nice of them. It was very nice. But you know, it's a great country, a great country. But so many things to learn in America, man. I learned that you can buy guns in America. Anywhere, in any shop, you can buy a gun. You could go, like, imagine if that was in India. It's a 2 gold flake mini, 1 Sten gun. Oh, gold flake mini नहीं है, ठीक है, 2 Sten gun. क्यों? Oh, मेरा भाई के साथ एक dispute चल रहा है. I'll come back for the cigarette after I've shot him. Yeah. I love Punjabis. I've talked about this many, many times. You know this, right? I love Punjabi people. You know, because Punjabi people, you know, they have so much confidence. You know, they have guns and stuff. It's nice. You know, and they don't let anything get in the way of their confidence, which is great, like in education or what. It's not a... It's fine, 1 or 2 FIRs, but it's not a problem. Because they have confidence. You know where the confidence manifests itself is really... I started talking about Dubai. I'll get back to it at some point. The weddings. It manifests as weddings. Have you seen a Punjabi wedding? It's insane. At least 5, 6 people die. Often the bride and groom. You just kill the bride and groom. It's insane. You guys have just attended one and come, clearly. It's much. Go to a Bengali wedding. Have you been to one? It's like a funeral. There's a man there, he looks hapless, like he's just lost his whole family, like the Game of Thrones. It's my daughter's wedding, come.
I'm a very uncomfortable performer because I'm a very private person. I'm not a very public person. I'm not very comfortable, like after shows, I'm not very comfortable. I usually like run home, like I'm not a very, I love people, like I'm not one of those kinds of comedians. So, for me, the individual like that you create for comedy is just an exaggerated version of yourself. Like I invent things. Like I talk about a child I don't have. You know, I give the child, in my stand-up I say, the child just keeps wasting my money, I'm going to put him to work, just keeps eating my food. I don't have a child. Like, so you invent things in comedy that don't exist, but they're exaggerations of your life. So as an individual, I think I'm much more reserved and quiet, and I'm much more manic as a comedian. If I became like that, like my stage person, it'd be unbearable. I think I'm fairly unbearable right now, but it'd be even more unbearable, so which is very unbearable.
This is what I like about Punjabi people. They're loud, they're proud people, they don't care about anything like decorum or education or whatever. It's not important. They are builders of New India. They don't need all that. They are builders, they're proud, they're businesses, they start things like resto pubs. But they're confident people, they're confident. You see, when they go out with women, they take charge. They are Punjabi people, they take control of the situation when they go on a date and stuff. And they say stuff like, see here, she's a girl, I'll order for her. So I'll have a chicken lollipop. And she'll have this drink, this cocktail, this Kuiper. Hey, just get this. Whatever. And they're proud of their clothing. You know, they're proud of it. As a Bengali, you know, I look like a driver's assistant, but they're proud. You know, they have T-shirts and they're with proud brands. They look like hoardings. It's very good. On my flight to Dubai, I was sitting next to a person from Delhi. And, you know, and what I love about Delhi people is that they scan you. You know, they scan you for brands. They're checking out, they're like, Armani, Versace, Armani, Versace, Armani, Versace. They're looking, right? It's like, you know, when you go to a grocery store and they're scanning things, only when they get the brand will they talk to you. So they're like, Polo, Ralph Lauren, Armani, Versace, Polo, nothing, no point talking to him. His only question was, you're Bengali.